Hi, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sam, and in today's video, we are going to be taking Dune Imperium and having to brainstorm adding a random game mechanic into it. How might we do that, you ask? Well, if we switch screens real quick and populate the two windows, we have our wheel of choices up in the right corner, and we need to present. Boom. Hopefully that's sharing. All right, boom. So if you look in the top right of the screen, we have this wheel that is populated with 60 different game mechanics from Board Game Geek. And we are going to spin it, and whatever concept that it lands on, we're going to have 5 minutes to try and fit that into Dune Imperium. So we got pattern building. Pattern building. Pattern building as a mechanic is just like it sounds. Like, the goal is to set certain patterns, basically generated to you for, yeah, your matching patterns. So why are we not showing? Maybe, I don't know, we always got to click back into that. There we go. Pattern building into Dune Imperium. And so, oh man, why is this being wonky? All right, we'll just stay in this screen for now. It's not going to make a difference to you. It's only going to matter on my end. But what we'll do now is we'll pull up our phone and set a 5-minute timer. And we'll start that. We got 5 minutes to try and ideate how we might get pattern building into Dune Imperium. And so I think what I would lean into is we have the main board here, and you have the influence tracks that is broken into 4 sections. We have sort of that high council spot. We have in the basic game the Solari exchange. We have the victory point track up here. And then we have the battlefield down here with the 4 different regions. And then we got all of these worker placement spots. Do I remember? Maybe there's 8. I don't know. And then in here we have the boon for what your rewards are for first, second, and third in the combat section. And so I think this is where I would focus on adding the pattern building. And so if we zoom out on one of these cards, I don't know if I have them here with me. Oh, we do. Boom. So the conflict cards are where I add the pattern building into. And I would say that, so a simple conflict card structure looks like this, where there is the reward for first, the reward for second, and the reward for third. Let's just undo that really quick. Put that line where it should be. And what we would be modifying to here is potentially a way to add in bonus troops if you match the symbol requirement. And so the swords, it would be, so we would get, say, 4 extra troops this round if on the cards that we played we had at least 1 green, we had 2 blue, and 1 infinity, I think. So I think this would be where we'd be focusing on the pattern building in this brainstorm. And so let me just get back so I can see what we're showing. And so, yeah, I think I'll pause it there because I don't want to be scared by our timer. But to recap, what our challenge was to add pattern building into Dune Imperium. And so there's plenty of ways that you could add the pattern building into, but the first thought I had was the conflict cards that are flipped every round to determine what the rewards are for winning the battle that goes on here. Felt like a natural place for us to add this pattern building element. And so when a card is flipped, there would be a symbol requirement to, or not requirement, but there'd be a bonus for if you matched the symbols for the round, you'd get this additional strength in combat would be the reward for, you know, matching that pattern. And so how this would work is when we'll go to full camera for this. When a conflict card is revealed, down here, there would be shown what the symbols are, and it would show how much additional troops you'd get in combat. And so then you'd be able to look in your hand and we would tailor it to sort of the first rounds being, because would it be better to do on the reveal section? I don't know. We'll talk through the concept that we have and then weigh the pros and cons at the end. But if this would probably be a level 2 or level 3 conflict, as I can show real quick, there are different tiers of the conflict cards, which as the game, I'll hold them here. So as the game goes on, there's level 1, 2, and 3. The rewards for what you'll gain in the conflict become better. And you can actually see how the swords get bigger. I have not gotten used to this mirrored effect yet, but that's okay. And so on each conflict card, like if a level 2 one is, to be able to achieve it, you would have to have 3 cards played out. So in our example, we needed to have a pentagon and 2 circles, which is here. And then we needed to have the Infinity Alliance, which we'd have here. So if we were able to play these 3 cards out during our placing agent phase in the game, we would be able to add 4 strength into battle if we had units in combat. And so that is my initial brainstorm for how we'd add pattern building into Dune Imperium. How I'd go about testing it is I would probably come up with 2 pattern matching goals for each level of conflict. I'd probably come up with 3. So I'd come up with 2 or 3 for each. And I would then try and balance them by adding more troops. And that would be how all I'd need to do to test this. And then the next time we played Dune Imperium, I'd explain, hey, there's a little pattern building mechanic that I want to just test proof of concept. And if the group I was playing with was interested in trying that out, I would explain. I wouldn't modify these cards. I'd create just a new deck and then flip and stagger them just to not ruin the game. But if I got consent from the table, that would be how I go about adding pattern building into Dune Imperium. I'd love to hear what concepts you come up with for pattern building in the comments below. So feel free to, if this prompt gave you inspiration or an idea, I'd love to hear it. And I look forward to engaging with you there. Bye-bye.